Welcome to Fulfillment Fridays, where we talk about faith, freedom, and fulfillment. Today, I'm going to talk about progress over perfection. Does it ever seem like there are more things to do than there is time or energy? That's where I'm at right now. I'm not here to give you some clickbait YouTube drama. My reality is that I'm a sole parent. Life is hard. Some days are harder. That's just what it is. Life can be overwhelming and stressful at times, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Life cycles through seasons, and I'm more of in a season that keeping things alive is a win for the day. Animals, plants. It's just important to take inventory and realize what's needed versus what's wanted, making sure what's urgent, what's urgent and important, and prioritizing. Write things down. Make sure that you know what you're making decisions about so you can make the right decisions. Dealing with June in Florida right now, the heat index was 105 today, making outside chores really difficult. So there's a lot going on. I'm going to get into that in just a minute. I'm going to give you some solutions to just keep things in perspective. That's what I'm doing. And I just really want to be an inspiration. So I'll give you a garden and pool update at the end if you want to stay, but let's get into it. I will say I am not a complainer. There's no pity parties here. Life happens, and the more you do, the more can go sideways. Sometimes things happen and are spread out, right? Like this happens and that happens. And sometimes it's all together, like it's just like all at a time. And sometimes external forces that you don't have control over kind of pile in and pile on top. God has blessed me with a lot. So there's a lot to take care of, and there's a lot that can go wrong or will go wrong, right? And with that being said, um, because of God's blessings, some people might not like it and they can attack you for it. And that's just one more thing to deal with. Is it fair? No. I could tell you life is not fair. I think we already know that, right? But to make life not fair, or make me shrink down or go away, it just means to me that that's not an option. And then I just need to reorganize, prioritize, and get real with life. So let me give you a few highlights of what I mean. I was sent legal threats, had to stop what I was doing and procure a lawyer, had to work with them to address the false accusations, draw some very serious boundaries, and then deal with the fallout and stress that it created in my family, which also caused some physical negative effects that slowed life down on top of everything. If you haven't watched that video, I'll go ahead and put the link above wherever that is, and you can do that. The other part too is I did this all myself. I committed to daily Chick Chronicle videos. So if you don't know about them, I put out a daily Chick short every day, some other shorts as well, on top of our weekly Fulfillment Fridays videos that you're watching right now. So I did that to myself, but I made a commitment, so I'm going to do it. But sometimes life gets busy, right? And some days are better than others, and that's just real life. So with everything going on, I was a bit late building the chicken tractor than at least that I had planned or hoped, right? That was in the grandiose scheme of getting from point A to point B. The chickens were in the brooder a little bit longer. If you saw the Chick Chronicles, you saw me having to chicken wire the top of their brooder because they were literally trying to fly out. So it's been an adventure. Yay, chicken keeping. I'm diving in on the deep end on that one. But with that, right, I built the chicken tractor, and the chicken tractor isn't tractoring as planned. I have a very sandy soil here, and it just wants to dig in. So I could try to modify, spend a lot of money, spend a lot of time trying to modify, or I can just say, hey, I had a great idea of a chicken tractor. That didn't work. So what are my alternatives? Because not looking at the path of must have chicken tractor, looking at the path of I want to have a chicken tractor so that the chickens can forage, they can get out, they can do all their chickeny things and not just be stuck in like a stationary thing and not have vegetation and bugs and that kind of stuff. So really looking at the outcome that I wanted, we are now converting the chicken tractor into a stationary chicken pen. And then it was all a matter of looking at, the type of mulch, and they can dig and they can forage in it. The bugs it's Florida, so bugs are everywhere. I had to put bug spray on just to sit out here to do this video right now. So they're going to have that. They scratch in the mulch. It's natural. It's more like real, obviously ground. I also have an electric chicken fence that I haven't used yet, but I can also use that. So they can come out during the day if I want them to, and then they can also scratch and forage. The pin's just going to stay put. So again, if I was super, super committed into, I need the chicken tractor to tractor, man, like I don't even know. Like that would be way too much. So really, I'm just looking at what did the chicken tractor serve? Like what outcome? And like, how can I get that with a non-tractoring chicken tractor? And that's kind of where most of my things are happening right now. I really need to focus on the outcome, not how I thought I was going to get there, because that is looking very, very different right now. Now, that's also kind of why I bought the Chicken Cabana chicken castle in last week's video that you guys saw. That's a big 752-pound box still sitting by my driveway because life happened this week as well. And built it, I bought a chicken run to build a 10 by 20, but then I still had to build them like a house, right? Like a coop and get layer boxes and like do all this stuff. And I've never done chickens before. This is all brand new. And so the reality for me is to do something from scratch, even though I've got, the knowledge, right, to do it, is really overwhelming because it takes so much extra time to learn as you go, that the reality is the chickens kind of are needing somewhere to go sooner rather than later. Got a really smoking deal on Tractor Supply with the Chicken Cabana, and like money back on, shopping app. And so for me, when I looked at the amount of money that I would have to buy for the scratch materials to make their chicken house in the run that I already had, on top of basically then the sanity that would cause me an 100-degree heat index, like, okay, I bought the cabana. I still have to put it together, but now it's all prefab. So now I just have to follow directions. It's like a gigantic IKEA chicken run, and I'm really good at IKEA. So that's something on that. But again, thinking about staying in my budget, not going crazy. Like I don't have this crazy unlimited funds, right? A lot of us don't. But what is that going to look like? Like the chickens have to have somewhere to be. They're already here. I'm not sending them back. So what's going to make the chickens be where they need to be? What's going to be like our long-term goals? Factoring all of that in. I've got 6 layers right now. I'm not sure what best friend is. If best friend's a rooster or a hen, I probably will end up with about 10 to 12 layers and then rotating meat birds. So again, finding something that is long-term meeting the objectives, not just a temporary band-aid. Sometimes things are a temporary band-aid and that's okay, but having the realization and knowing it, right? So let's put things in perspective. Um, we are super thankful that the layers and the meat birds are still getting together or getting along well, right? And so that's been super thankful. So I'm not literally out in the middle of the night building a chicken coop, because I would be at this point. Um, we've had some issues. My kiddo had oral surgery, had some medical stuff that made us kind of do an ER run or two, and there's recovery needed. So now I lost my kiddo helper. And not only that, but now I have to pick up all of that slack too, on top of taking on really heavy caregiving responsibilities, right? So that's added. And again, no fault of anybody's, but it's just the reality of it. And that's what I need to focus on, is the medical issues, right? It is a 4-hour round trip drive to see who we need to go see. And that's a lot. Like, that's a day trip every time we go, right? Which means all the other things, like how does that fit in and managing. But the way I'm looking at it is it's such a blessing that only 2 hours away is this great medical facility that has all the top-notch things that she needs to go see, and treatment and all of that, right? And so realistically, a 4-hour round trip can be like, oh, that's like a whole day. And like, oh, really? But really, it's kind of in our backyard. 2 hours isn't far. Like, I don't have to get on a plane to go to a specialty hospital. Like, I have one right here. Florida is great for medical, and that's why we're here. So how you frame it in your brain has a lot to do with it. Also, too, it's like Okay, can we combine things like, oh, 2 hours away, there's some certain grocery stores or even bulk like healthy food buying over in that area of town. So it's like, oh, well, I obviously wouldn't drive that far to go over there, but I can actually budget and save quite a bit if I, on the way home from the doctor's appointments, stop at this place and pick up some great deals to bring home, right? So, how can I make this to our advantage? Another thing that happened, again, it's just been one thing after another. My refrigerator compressor went out. I did some basic troubleshooting. Last year it went out as well, but it was like a loose wire. So I was like, okay, let me go through everything. Nothing. The compressor is just like nada. I have no idea why. But to actually call out an RV tech, pay them to diagnose, go through all the troubleshooting, etc., like that's going to be hefty. And then not only that, but then whatever fix that they need to do, if it's not something simple that I just happen to miss, which I don't think it is. And so right now, my outcome, I need a fridge. I need a fridge and a freezer in my rig. That is what's important. So looking at it, I got this really great deal. I'm like the coupon queen. And I've got a large mini fridge. So about a third of the size of my current fridge right now, fridge and freezer, but it allows me to do what I need to do, right? So the outcome, it's not what I want, of course, but it's what I need. And that's where I'm going to focus on. I don't have to deal with the mental overload right now of scheduling an RV tech, scheduling maintenance, working around doctor's appointments. Like just that coordination is so time consuming that that's not something I'm looking to sign up for. So I've said, okay, this is what I'm doing. It's not a waste because having that large mini fridge can also be a backup for somebody else on the homestead. If their fridge goes out, we can use it for other things in an outbuilding. So again, it's not a waste either. But it's not the what I wanted. It's not the way things I wanted to look, right? But I'm looking at the realities of it. And this is where it is. I used to be so set on how to get there. Like so set on it, right? And I'd focus. I'm like, how do I make this work? And like be obsessive. Not anymore. I'm like, what's the outcome? This plan didn't work. What else can I try to get the same outcome? And this is how I'm actually dealing with a lot of the mental overload right now is that what's needed versus what's wanted, and then stopping to say, okay, this is not working, but is there another way to accomplish that? And that's where I want to inspire you too, because I think we get so just focused on how we're doing something that what we're doing, and most importantly, why we're doing it matters. And that's what we need to focus on. The rest kind of comes in place, right? In so many ways. Now, also, that brings me to the looking for a new automatic chicken water and feeder tubes. So I don't actually have to go in the chicken pen at all. Like, unless I'm like throwing them scraps or I'm like picking up their like skins of the vegetables they're not eating. Like, I don't want to go in there daily. I just don't. Like, I want to make it easy. I also want to be budget friendly. So right now I'm looking at an automatic water that I can either do myself or I can purchase that has like little nipples so the cups don't even get dirt in them. On top of that, I can actually just plug in a hose to it. So it's literally automatic, like zero, I don't have to deal with any of it. The other part too is a feeder. There's like these tube feeders. There's things from the outside that they can get to where I do not have to actually get in their cage to put food in their feeder at all. So that's what I'm looking at currently right now. Again, something budget friendly, something that's going to last, but something that's going to save my sanity a little bit and something that's going to be quicker because I had to get in and I have to like fight the chickens back. I have to take the net and like shoo them over. And it's just very time consuming. And I have a lot of things to do, as I'm sure you can probably get the picture right now. So that's what I'm trying to totter on is this balance beam of efficiency and budget and just mental load. Another thing, right? So can't really schedule, can't really control. We had friends, very dear friends that came and visited for a couple of days. I don't have like scheduling power over their schedule, right? They just came down and I worked my schedule around it so we could spend time with them. And that was really important. And it was kind of urgent because they were here, right? They were here for a limited time. And it was awesome that they were so close. They were able to stay at another friend's place and then come visit us every day and hang out and eat dinner. And it was really phenomenal. They were also able, I have a whole bunch of friends back in Alabama, and I was able to make cookies and send them back to everybody because I'm kind of like the cookie dealer. I make really good cookies, by the way. Um, and it was kind of my thing when I lived in Alabama for a little bit. And so I was able to stop what I was doing. I made 13 dozen cookies, baked 7 dozen of them, packaged them up, and sent them back with them. It was definitely a labor of love, but it was something that I made time to do because I need that connection, right? I need people. It's not just everything. And so that's really what I'm focusing on at this point. Something else that happened too, right? I have a patio cover. It's basically a large RV cover that's 14 feet tall. So a bird decided to build a nest in my very like rafter over my patio couch. Now I'm not getting up there 14 feet. I just not going to get up 14 feet at all. Um, but it's over my couch. And of course, if you ever have a bird's nest, you know how dirty it is and with all of the bird poop and all of the things. So I had to go ahead and rearrange my patio and make sure that my couch was moved somewhere else. So when they have the babies and there's bird poo everywhere, that it's not something obviously that's over my furniture. It's over the patio rug, right? It's like in or out, and it's totally washable and it's totally hose offable. So it's things like that. That's just like the little things, but kind of crazy. But that's the stuff that just adds up, right? Just those little things. I have no control over what the birds do, for goodness sakes. Like, but I still have to deal with it. Now, in Florida, storm season has officially kicked off. Woo! Now, my job is to make sure that I have backup power because I have a well and no power, no water. That's important, right? So if we have storms come in to the area and even if, the property's fine, but there's no power, we still need to have water, right? We need to have some emergency power. So my job at this point is really to make sure that we've got just the bare minimum here on the homestead for everybody. Everybody else's like power in their rigs is on them, but we got to make sure that there's at least some communal water, bathhouse, that type of thing. So I went ahead, made sure I had the utility company come out, put in the transfer switch on the meter that works with any portable generator. It's called GenerLink. Not sponsored or anything, but it's just a really great thing. It comes with a wire. And then I can go ahead and get any portable generator that has a 50 amp like RV plug spot for it. And then it works. The other part too, now I need to work on fuel. I got a dual fuel. So basically, at that point, it's either going to take propane or gas. So now I've got to go ahead and get enough fuel containers as well as load it up with fuel so that if there is an emergency, I can run several days independently if we can't get out to refill. So that's those things. It is what it is, right? It's now June. It's now storm season. Things can happen. Like I can't be like, oh, I'll deal with that in October. Like I could, but that's probably going to be more problematic. So, with that being said, we are not planning on leaving during a hurricane unless it's large and a direct hit, right? It's just most of the time category 1, 2. I mean, it's just a large storm. Like we just are going to hunker down. So, I need to make sure that, again, having power to the bathhouse for hot showers, that we can just deal with some basics is obviously important. Now, with that being said, if you'd like to support this crazy homesteading life that we have here, please like and share this video. It means a lot to YouTube when you even comment. They show the interactions, they show it to other people, and that's a great way for us. Also, make sure that you're subscribed and the notifications are on. I had a friend say, I'm not seeing any of your videos. What are you talking about daily chicken updates? And then he realized didn't have the notifications on his subscription. Um, and then we do once a week longer videos, so on Fridays, and then also, like I said, the daily shorts. The other part too is that if you'd like to support us, we have a merch store open in YouTube now as well. It's up and running. Check it out. It's lots of fun stuff. We have great merch for my daughter's music video that's Not Your Rumor Anymore. So I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. And then we have the Faith, Freedom, and Fulfillment design collection, which obviously you can kind of see. This is one of the mugs that we have, and we have some different merch options like hoodies and sweatshirts and stickers, canvas, different fun stuff. So that helps support us as well. I'm very blessed. And just, I would love, your support in any way possible. Now, let's talk about some more solutions, right? Looking at the list of things to do, it is long. I actually need to start with what's important. Driving to town to get groceries is one more thing to do. Groceries is important. I can't avoid groceries. And I've been doing curbside pickup. So I save time in the grocery store. Now I just signed up for Walmart Plus so that it's delivery directly to the homestead. Gas prices so high, it actually makes sense instead of driving into town. Funny thing is that ARP, that you AARP, right? That you think it's, oh, it's for older people. They don't really have a age limit, and so I joined them for really cheap a long time ago. And they actually had $40 off a Walmart Plus subscription for the entire year. So that's, I mean, a huge savings. So for me, I'm constantly Googling, like, hey, I want to sign up for this thing. This makes my life easier. What's the best deal? What's the best coupon? What does that look like? It takes a couple more seconds, but it then makes these conveniences and efficiencies budgetable, right? Financially doable. Because if it wasn't, then it's the time or the money, right? And I get that. If you don't have the money, you don't have the time, you've got to balance. And that's kind of, just responsible, the way I think about it. I did recently, if you saw the videos, I prioritized getting the pool ready. It should be ready. I think actually today I'm balancing the pH and all of those things. But that was actually critical for me because I had to stop and look and say, okay, what is self care for me? Like, what am I doing? I have a lot, obviously, what I'm going on. This is just tip of the iceberg, guys. There's a lot more. But with that being said, like, how can I do self care? And I really just want to float in the pool. Like, that is something that I think about and I'm like, oh, that sounds lovely. So for me, even building the chicken cabana, yeah, the chickens need something, but the chickens have something. Mama needs a break. Mama needs a floaty. So I went ahead and put the pool together, right? So it might sound silly, but look at what's going to give you the best bang for your buck, right? Whether it's your time, your sanity, your mental health, your finances, and what's important to you, right? We all have to have some sacrifices. We all have some give and take. But what does that look like for you? Write it down, put it on paper, actually quantify some of these things. It will help you so much. For example, I signed up to be a senior leader on Tony Robbins Life Mastery that's coming up. There's a lot of prep time, there's a lot of training required. And if I did not think about it correctly, I would just get this like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I have so many things to do. Like, I just can't handle it right now. Maybe I shouldn't go to the event. Like, maybe I should just bow out. Like, this just isn't something I can do right now. But I've done these events enough to know when I'm volunteering, when I'm helping out, when I'm contributing back, not only am I growing, but I'm helping other people grow. The return on my time and investment and sacrifice for that is huge. So, those things that, like I said, might seem on paper overwhelming, I know in my heart are like what feeds me, right? It is part of my self care, even though I might have a sleep deficit after the 4-day event. That's what I want to focus on, right? I don't want to focus on the, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a sleep debt and I already have a sleep debt. I want to focus on like how this is going to boost me and like really propel me forward, right? Choose your hard, as they say. Being fat is hard. Losing weight is hard. Choose your hard. Relationships are hard. Being lonely is hard. Choose your hard. You get the point. We all get to choose our hard. I realized that I bought this property and it is my full responsibility. And I added quite a few projects that I thought I had under control. Oh, silly me. And with unexpected medical issues, maybe you know, without them, right? Like maybe I would have had everything under control and maybe it wasn't biting off more than I could chew. But the reality is right now that it is and that I need to be practical. And, if plants die, they die. I don't want them to die, but like that's a thing, right? I have to put things in perspective. I'm really bad at asking for help. I'm great at offering it, but it's a work in progress for me for sure, right? It's something that I actively have been working on. And so, what I will say is part of the solution is that I have some friends on the homestead that are basically chosen family for us. And one of them, and a couple of them, but one of them has taken the main lead at watering the trees and the garden for me basically every day that doesn't rain, which is most days. And that has been such a blessing, like such a blessing, because it's one less thing that I have to worry about and trying to juggle and trying to deal with. And we split family dinner chores. Like, we're like, oh, you're gonna cook? Great. Cook, cook for myself and my daughter. Or I'm gonna cook, I'll cook for your family as well. No matter how many times I feed my kid, she's always hungry again the next day. Who knew? So, joking aside, just those little things about saying, hey, what can I do? Like, if I'm going to cook for two, I can cook for six or eight or 10. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just a bigger meal, but it's not really going to be that much more effort. But if I don't have to cook for a few days because someone else is going to cook, like, that's a big deal. Right. And so having conversations, asking for help, seeing, what that looks like, that's going to be big. Right. Again, being a sole parent is hard, really hard right now. But I have a support system, and I need to learn to lean into that support system more. And that support system might have also their own ER trips and hospitalizations. But I think the biggest piece is that I'm not doing this alone. And so what's on paper, what I'm responsible for, it's really all me. It really is. But knowing that if I have to go to the ER, if I have to go to the hospital, if there has to be something that's, unexpected, that someone's here to watch the dog or the chickens or the garden or things. It's one less thing for me to worry about, to know that someone else has my back. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that some people have nefarious reasons. They're really not, the best community members. And some are fantastic. Some give too much, some take too much. But really just kind of finding what that balance is for you, and, finding the family, right? Finding those people that, when hits the fan, they're there. They're there to help you. And I've always been the one that's bailed people out and been there to help. And now I am so blessed to have that in my life as well. And I don't know what I would do without it. So if you are having an overwhelm, put things on paper, prioritize, right? What's important, what's urgent. Everything else kind of off to the side, right? And is it urgent and not important? Like, and you kind of have to decide, like, is it really that urgent? Right? Is it your urgent or somebody else's urgent? My job is not to fix everybody. My job is not to do that. As a coach, my job is to give guidance, right? If you want to work with me as a coach, my contact information is down in the description. I'm taking on a few one-on-one clients right now, but realistically, get somebody to talk to, get somebody to help you. Make sure that you have humanity. Make sure that you can bounce ideas off of somebody. The reason why I'm so creative in figuring out my how from point A to point B is because I talk to people. I'm always interested. I'm genuinely curious. I'm like, well, how did you do that? Or what did that happen? Or, pull up YouTube University. Like, I learned a can on YouTube University, right? So all the things, don't be shy to tell other people. There's a difference between, having a pity party and, woe is me and staying the victim. And there's another thing to say, hey, I'm really having some struggles right now, and these are my struggles. And do you have any ideas? Is there anything that you can suggest for me? Right? Those are different. So please reach out, get some solutions, lessen the overwhelm. If you're overwhelmed now, there's things that you can do about it. You don't have to stay there. I know I'm in the moment right now, but it won't last for long. And it's all about how I look at it. So please take a different viewpoint. Again, ask for help, reach out, and just have a blessed day. No matter what's going on, it's a day above ground. And just put things in perspective. Now, I appreciate you staying this long. Stay tuned for the garden and pool update, and we'll wrap up Fulfillment Friday.
So here's the pool update. It'll be ready tomorrow. I just had to balance the pH so that the chlorine would hold. You can see our sunshade up there. I put my arm in the water and it is like bath water. It is so nice. I'm so excited to enjoy. For the garden update, as you can see, our experiment Walmart watermelons are going crazy, which is awesome. And then we've got our first sugar baby watermelon about ready to pick. So we're good there. Our cantaloupe is getting a little bit better. It's getting closer. And I still need to fill this bed, but we do have that one done. And then I need to actually put a T-post over here for the zucchini because those bamboo stakes are not holding up anything like that. So I do have to pick that today while I'm out here. Our first baby butternut squash, I thought it had some growing, but I think the first squash is just done. And we've got some other ones that are a little bit bigger. So with that being said, I think the first one was just a little stunted, but we've got our pumpkins. As you can see, they are hanging out with each other and doing a great job. Then we've got lots of our tomatoes, of course, but I did go ahead and fill all the beds that had something in it with the pine shavings. Oh, that is my purple Cherokee. So delicious. I can't wait for that one. And so it's covering, those are the new strawberries that I got bare root. So those ones are taking, the first one's kind of a fail. So I'm glad these ones are working. But you can also see the little sun sugar tomatoes. Those are the Everglades right there. So they're already taking a foot. But the nice thing about is the pine shavings, I was looking online. One, they're really cheap at Tractor Supply. And it's what I use for chicken bedding, for the brooder, but it's so light and fluffy that you can actually plant seedlings and it can come up through it. Also too, I'm not going to get like slivers digging into this when we like replant some of the beds. So that's going to be really nice. The other part though is that you see how like the melon mound right there, that is not going to hold these pine shavings. Like it's just going to blow away. So for the pumpkin and melon mounds, we are going to go ahead and do a pine bark nugget to hold in the water, because with Florida it's droughting, and basically one day or half a day without rain, some of the plants look very droopy. So we're just trying to keep the moisture in. That's what's going to help do it for us. And so you can kind of see we've got that. But yeah, just kind of the TSC pine shavings, not the fine one but the flake ones. It's what I had left over from the chickens for the chick brooder, and that'll help keep everything good. So we're excited about that next step and keeping the moisture in.